be able to
Morning.
do that too. Be as
My
thorough
daughter's
as
up in my
possible when
face
you
right
first sign
now.
up. So really fill out the demographic, what your
So I
interests
said I
are,
decided to
so
come in
that the
here
algorithm of Survey Junkie can
clean
give you
because
only
I
the surveys
woke
that
up
you
this
qualify
morning.
for. The next
So what
thing
this
is
dish is
figure
doing
out
here?
a routine where you will be able to participate often,
Nah,
whether it's in your downtime, in your
it's always
commute.
on
The
when you
next thing
live
that
with
you can
people.
do is opt in
But when
for
you live by
polls. Once
yourself,
you opt in for
you have
polls, you're
to
really
answer
going
to
to be
yourself.
able to let
You know what I
Survey
mean?
Junkie know what kind of
So
things you're
no, this is
interested
not due
in,
to me.
and you get more points for being part of
So
the
you
program.
know, if you
You
want
also
your
qualify
kitchen
for
and
surveys
everything
that will
clean,
be
you
able
do it
to
on your
pay you
own.
out higher. And if
Okay?
you're interested, click to sign up today.
That's on facts. I hope this don't get too hot. Feels like it's getting hot a little bit. So
Are you ready to grow? With thicker, stronger hair, you gotta work it out with Curology.
Hell of a thing. I'm convinced more than ever now that Don Lemon knew exactly what the hell he was doing.
check
Let me take
this.
you to the first video. Here it is.
This is a part of the conversation with Musk where you ask him about hate speech. Here it is.
Hate speech on the platform is up. Do you believe that X and you have some responsibility to moderate hate speech on the platform? That you wouldn't have to answer these questions from reporters about the great replacement theory as it relates to Democrats? The great replacement theory as it relates to Jewish people. Do you think that? I don't have to answer questions from reporters. Don, the only reason I'm doing this interview is because you're on the X platform and you asked for it. Otherwise, I wouldn't
Racist.
do this interview.
I don't have
So
to
you don't
answer
think
you.
do
You
you think that
relax.
you wouldn't get in
That's what
trouble
he's
or you
saying.
wouldn't be criticized for these things? I've criticized constantly. I could care less.
Oh no, I don't have to
I'm
answer the black
criticized
people. He
constantly.
say.
I could care less. Put up Don Lemon for a mass here. You know, when Don Lemon went live and said, "Oh my goodness, Elon Musk is mad at me, y'all. All I did
No,
was ask regular
he's mad
questions,
at black.
and he got
He
upset. I thought
don't
we had a
know
great
that.
interview." Don, I saw the interview, sir. There's no in the hell you thought that at the end of that interview, you still had a job at X. I love it though. I mean, it was beautifully done. But sir, you knew good and damn well
Oh, he
you needed to
know.
own the license to that interview, and you
Please
did.
did.
All
Thank
right,
he
per the
did.
Daily Beast,
Yes,
Don
sir.
Lemon fired back at
Get
Elon
that
Musk on
dough.
Sunday.
That's how you get
One
it back.
day after the tech billionaire compared him
Get that dough,
to
brother.
Veruca Salt for complaining
Get
about the
him
now
back in the
defunct deal with
pockets.
X. In an exclusive interview with People,
I'm
Lemon ripped
trying
into
to
Musk, his persona, saying that the Tesla owner
strategize.
could not handle being asked to own up to past mistakes. People said, question, did you have any qualms about joining forces
No, I'm
with
just kidding.
Elon Musk and X, the platform, and Musk has a reputation for intolerance, anti-Semitism, transphobia,
Yep.
not the most accepting culture. Lemon. I disagree, quite frankly, with most of what Elon Musk tweets about and talks about. But he owns X, and it's one of the biggest social media and information platforms in the world. I thought it was the best opportunity
Until
to reach the biggest
now.
audience so that people could see the work that I'm doing. Also, unlike
X
Elon
is
Musk,
going
truly
on.
believe in freedom of speech. Now, I want to say this. Don Lemon does, in fact, gives a nod to those who
I ought to
say,
go to his platform and put
Don,
that
don't
on
do
you.
it. Don, it won't last. Don, this is a bad look. All right, so he acknowledges that he saw all of these messages from individuals who said this is not going to work out well. But he countered with, I'm simply going where the platform can be echoed. All right?
Right.
Some people pose the question, why did you choose Musk for the first show? All right? Don Lemon said, as the show came into fruition, we started to think about guests.
Right.
I said, who would be the best guest for the first show? Who would be the most impactful?
Right.
And I said, I think that would be Elon Musk, because this show is going to be about true freedom of speech, and it's going to be a global town hall for everyone. Elon Musk would be the best person. We reached out to him. He said yes willingly, and the rest is history. So then people said, you certainly have an idea that it could fall apart. Lemon, the possibility of Elon Musk being unpredictable and erratic. Yeah, of course I knew that. I went into this with my eyes open. I've interviewed many world leaders, presidents, the convicts, and no one has been more sensitive or touchy than Elon Musk. And during the interview and during other interviews, he constantly says he doesn't care what people write or say about him. For someone who doesn't care about what people write or say about him, he sure does care about what people write or say about him, end quote. Lemon continued, he's not used to being held to account. He's not used to having to answer to anyone, especially someone like me who doesn't share his worldview and doesn't look like him. You know what I'm saying? When I questioned him about things that he put out on social media, posted or tweeted, that weren't factual, it was very uncomfortable for him, to the point to where he and his team wanted to see the interview before it aired, which was a big capital N-O. People post the question, what did you want to happen with this interview? Some people would say, don't give him the airtime, even more of an audience. So let me say my philosophy then, when I was in cable, was that no one ever wins a cable news argument. I just wanted us both to be authentic. There was so much to get out of the way. Why did you tweet this about black people? Why did you say this about DEI? Why did you say this about a woman pilot? Why did you say this about Jewish people? I had to know that, and the audience needs to know that. And for him to think that wasn't going to happen, that was really naive if he thought that. And I agree with Lemon that said he's a very consequential person to the world. Right. He controls the satellites, electric cars, the auto industry, rockets, space, and one of the biggest information platforms in the world. I learned a lot about him, and I think he learned a lot about me. Well, he could have.
He's a rich
but I think
idiot.
it just went right over his head. And people pose the question, what is the state of your relationship with Musk now? Lemon, our business relationship is over, so I'll move on from there.
That's right.
The Don Lemon Show premiere. Stay on
time.
YouTube. His first interview guest being Elon Musk. But in other Musk-related news, Tesla has settled a racist discrimination lawsuit in which a federal jury previously awarded $3.2 million in damages to someone named Owen Diaz, a black man who worked as an elevator operator at its Fremont, California factory in 2015. So let me say a couple of things. Don Lemon was posing questions that Elon is dealing with today. Right. These are not old questions or this is not old news. These things are happening now. Also, I think Don Lemon has done something quite remarkable. We have to stop for a moment to understand this. Out of everyone who has ever interviewed Elon Musk, Don Lemon has been able to get the absolute most out of Elon Musk than anybody else who has ever interviewed him, in my opinion. And I think it is because of the quagmire that Elon Musk was in. On one hand, you're offended by the questions because of your own internal belief in your supremacy. On the other hand, Elon Musk, you are the one who agreed to all of it, including hiring Don Lemon for the distribution deal. So you can't just walk out of the interview like you have with others. It makes you seem, well, small. But instead, you decide to utilize the amazing power of your platform in order to discontinue the distribution deal. Per CNBC in 2023, Diaz testified in a San Francisco federal court that colleagues at Tesla used racist epithets, made him feel physically unsafe, told him to go back to Africa, and left racist graffiti in restrooms. Colleagues also left in his workspace a racist drawing referencing a caveman in 1950 era cartoon whose main character is a black child portrayed with large lips wearing a loincloth, earrings, and a bone through his hair. During his trial, Diaz even recounted he had encountered or encouraged, his son to work at Tesla, but would later regret it because his son was also exposed to a racially hostile environment. Attorney Lawrence Oregon with the California Civil Rights Law Group, who represented Diaz, told CNBC via email, quote, the parties have reached an amicable resolution for their disputes. The terms of the settlement are confidential, and we will not have additional comment. The same firm is representing current and former Tesla employees in the proposed class action lawsuit. Marcus Vaughn, the Tesla Inc., alleging the racist discrimination and harassment of black
Hey,
workers
come on.
has continued at the automaker.
Come
Yes,
on.
is now part of that litigation. The U.S. Equal Opportunity
Oh my
Employment
God.
Commission also sued Tesla, accusing the automaker of violating federal law by tolerating widespread and ongoing racial harassment of its black employees and by subjecting some of these workers to retaliation for opposing the harassment. Tesla has called the EECO's allegations, quote, a false narrative that ignores Tesla's track record of equal employment opportunity.
I love New York. Oh, it's magical. This is my stop.
That's it.
This is not an Uber.
You were heading up this way.
The intent is to follow our officers. Instead, it appears they're following you.
You trying to sniff me?
I took this job because my work could be all about the truth.
That's it, Tom.
Welcome to New York.
That's it, sir. I wonder where the cover the things in. You got both of the buildings and that's the oh, it's back. Thank you. I appreciate it. It keeps getting stuck all the time. I'm warming up something for me to
All
eat
right,
that
and
to
this
take
is
my
the
meds.
attitude of Elon Musk. We have it here. That's the way he feels about it. The settlement with Diaz comes as the Tesla CEO faces widespread criticism for his handling of hate speech on X, which he owns and runs as CTO. Per NBC, Musk has shared on X unverified claims of cannibalism in Haiti. This month, by the way, he said that. Another post smearing Haitian migrants as likely cannibals. Mother Jones also reported he has been retweeting prominent race scientists' adherents on his platform and spreading misinformation about racial minorities, intelligence, and physiology.
Listen,
But he's a
this is for
genius,
me,
right?
not for Ted.
He's a genius.
This was for me.
There's no
I'm
genius.
having coffee.
He's a con man,
I'm
just
going
like
to
Donald
get
Trump.
water. I'm going to put
That
the water
co-founder
in
title,
there.
if you look at the record,
You
he sued
understand me?
in order to get that title affixed
Say
to
yes.
him.
You
He
have
has
to
no original
understand what I'm
concept.
doing.
He has no original
I'm using this.
proclamation or invention
Yes.
that he has brought that has
You
changed
see what I'm
or
saying?
shaped
This is what
the
we
world.
do.
The only thing he has done is
Like, you
subscribe to
gonna
an
control
ideology of white
stuff?
supremacy,
No,
being
you can't do
offended
that.
when people challenge
No,
his
you don't control
insanity,
everything of
and
my
he
life.
continues to ride the wave
No. No.
that many ride in this
No,
country.
excuse me. Can I put
All
water
right,
here?
I had
Yes,
thoughts here.
mommy. Mommy. Thank
You know, the reason we
That's
always
it.
hear about
That's
Elon
it.
Musk and Donald Trump is because people keep talking about
How did
them
that
and
work out?
putting their interviews up.
Mhm.
And I know a lot of
That's
people in
right.
the entertainment industry,
How you
people that
doing?
I
Good
work
morning.
with, there's like this silent worship of someone who's a billionaire,
Yeah,
who's a
just trying to make water. I
self-made
want to make
billionaire,
my
which
coffee.
most
She
of them
talking
are
about,
not,
I don't
because the
know.
earning
Yes,
potential
yes.
on the backs
Okay.
of a lot of people
I'm
who
gonna
died
eat. I'm gonna
unrecognized
drink
and uncompensated for their work.
my coffee
But it's
and my
interesting to
food.
me to always hear people say, "Well, we gotta hear the other side." Those people tell you who they are
That's it. I
constantly.
won't take
Elon
all the
Musk
water.
is
You
telling
can
you who
even
he is
have some so
constantly,
you can
and
make
yet and
some
still
more.
we still want to hear
You
from
want
him and
me
hear
this?
what he has to say and how he
You want
rationalizes his
something else?
racism and sexism and
No.
xenophobia. And the other thing I just wanted to say, those workers at Tesla, I'm so tired of people telling Black American people to go back to Africa when they were here for centuries building America. Why don't you tell Elon Musk to go back to Africa? He was the one that was born there. He was in Pretoria. Like, why you keep asking, telling Black American people they just as American as anybody else? And yes, many of us are descendants of African hostages that were stolen from the motherland and brought here against their will to do the work. But when they got here, you know what they did? They built America. Therefore, a lot of the Black people you keep telling to go back to Africa should tell you to go back to Europe, because America belongs to Black people too. So stop telling Black people to go back to Africa.
Yeah, it shows your true colors, no pun intended.
Your opinion matters. We reward you
Oh,
for it.
you can't do it in
Survey
the camera.
Junkie
Come
pays
here.
out over $1 million
I don't want to
every
get
month
banned.
to members, helping us build a
That's what
world
they say
with better
in
brand
business, so I
experiences,
think everybody
one
knows.
survey at a time.
That's it. That's
It's
it.
super simple.
I
Create your
apologize.
profile, take surveys, Get paid. Cashing out is
So-
easy. Redeem via PayPal, bank transfer, or gift cards.
I'm
Ready to join? Start earning today with
Yeah, I
Survey
gotta-
Junkie.
gotta get this thing cleaned out. There's a lot of dishes that I need to do. You know, I gotta do my job down here and make the mess. I clean it up.
Billionaire Bill Maher is annoyed that
That's how it is. You want your own house clean. Sometimes you have to do it yourself.
they're experiencing in their
But,
lives.
you know, most
Jobs
times,
aren't paying them high enough wages to make ends meet. They couldn't impact inflation.
they fairly good. They just do
Groceries. But Maher thinks that Americans are actually just ungrateful.
said to me,
And that
oh,
the
you gonna
problem
do this in
is
the
that we
morning?
can't
No,
see
you
how
know I
good we
don't
have
got
it.
this is
So let's get into the details.
I didn't
Maher
even know
asked
about this.
the following on last Friday's installment of Real Time with Bill Maher. Why are Biden's approval ratings so low when things are generally pretty good?
I do what I gotta do.
Maher said that while the country does have its problems, he conceded to that.
This is
He
TYT.
also pointed to
That's what you
wages that
wanna
have been
be,
rising.
TYT.
I mean, not enough to keep up with inflation,
TYT.
but let's put that aside. Low unemployment, which doesn't take into account the quality of jobs, whether they pay Americans enough to make ends meet, or doesn't even take into account the number of people who aren't looking for jobs because they've given up. And then, of course, he talks about the roaring stock market, which most Americans actually do not benefit from. It's actually a small percentage of high earners who get to take advantage of the outperforming stock market. But I'll give him that because people are invested, their 401ks, their retirements, invested in the stock market. So if it's performing well, that is good news. Maher then went on to list off a bunch of other things that we should be grateful for. Cheap TVs, next day shipping, stuffed crust pizza, which I personally find disgusting, legal weed, which I do not find disgusting, and I do appreciate, although the taxes for the legal weed in California too high, let's get it lower. GPS and word on your phone, which I don't really have much interest in. But Chang, I don't know, does Bill Maher have a point? I mean, shouldn't we just be happy with our internet porn and our stuffed crust pizza?
I don't want to be all over
Yeah, a little
the
bit. Okay, so I'm more mixed on this than you are. So on the one hand, Hannah's right. This is classic bubble thinking. In his bubble, everything's great. He's got probably has a lot of money in the stock market. Stock market's up. His wages are up. He decided to do a 2-year deal with HBO, and probably everyone he knows is thrilled. And I know folks like this. They're genuinely puzzled why anyone in the country is angry because they cannot see outside of their own bubble. They just are incapable of that. 40% of the country would be financially ruined by a $400 bill, an extra $400 bill.
So, what do y'all think about that Elon Musk thing?
Interaction with those people.
You surprised that Elon Musk is
On the other hand,
a
I like
racist?
everything
I'm
he
not
listed.
surprised.
And I know, and I think that he talked about.
I think he's
we're
one of them
over-medicated, I
kids.
agree. We're not appreciative enough.
In high
And I
school,
kinda
people
agree.
must have picked on a
So
lot.
we have amazing
And
things.
so-
That's
and I'm not
available
talking
to us
about
now,
black.
And we're constantly grumpy.
Just talking
It
about
reminded me of the
everybody.
whole Louis C.K. pre-canceled.
Because he has that personality, like, you
On one
know,
of the late night shows where he talked
not
about,
slow,
you know,
but,
he's
you
on a
know,
plane,
that
and we're
personality
this
of,
amazing birds, like thousands of feet.
I don't know, he
above
got
the
some
air, right?
social
And because we don't get
disability.
internet
So,
within 5 seconds,
I think
we're
that's the
angry,
problem with
right?
racists. I think they have a
Access to
social
all the world's
disability.
information, etc. So
You
I
know
did
what
have
I
a
mean?
soft spot in my heart
I
for
think that's a part of
that
the
portion of his
racism.
reign.
That's sad.
Listen.
That you gotta be like that. Like you
The way
can't
that I see it is
relate
every
with the
year our
world. You
quality
know,
of
I'm not
life
saying
declines.
be in the world. I'm just
Consistently,
saying
year after year,
just
something
relate because you're a
changes,
human
right?
being.
In
But
LA, what we're going to look
obviously,
forward
we're
to is the
seeing what
passage
you
of
are not
HLA,
a
where
human being, racist
notoriously
people.
traffic congested city is now going to
We
do
see
away
now.
with
We
lanes
see.
on roads and
We
make
see
them
where the
dedicated
fallen
bike
angels
lanes
are
and
at.
bus lanes.
It's really insane.
That's
It is going
that.
to
And it
double
ain't in
my
color.
already
It's in
hour-long
spirit.
to hour-and-a-half-long commute. Okay? I
So
want to
you
hang
see you
myself.
working, right?
Yo,
No, but guys,
Sit down or
okay,
do
but that's what the
something.
voters in
Do
LA did because they
something.
don't know what they're getting themselves
eat
into.
that?
They're about to find out. So
Okay.
enjoy, Angelinos. I hope you
Very
love it.
good.
Okay, and for all you guys
I'm
who get to
sorry,
work from
y'all.
home,
It's
if you
frozen
voted in favor
again.
of it, you. Okay?
I should
So
have
let me
known
put
this
that
phone
aside.
was gonna
Okay,
be.
all right.
Okay, but
iPhone is so overrated. It freezes up and it gets hot very fast. So I apologize for this live being sketchy.
Rising wages.
My
Okay,
bad.
that's fair. That's true. There was a
iPhones
tight
is
labor
overrated.
market where for the first time in a long time, workers
That's
had a
it.
little bit of leverage to get higher wages.
That's it.
At the same
That's it.
time, we
That's
see
it.
what's happening
That's
with
it.
inflation. And
Sitting
as
here
much as the
watching
Biden
dishes.
administration wants to convince us that inflation isn't a problem anymore, inflation slowed down. Sure, but the benchmark prices for things that we need to survive, like
Terry.
groceries, remain high and continue to go up. It's just that the
Right.
prices aren't going up as rapidly as they did previously.
So both things can be true at the same time. So a lot of
Yeah,
your
prices are still
so
going
the
up.
road diet that she's referring to is
Something wrong with them.
that's what they call it.
That's
and so
greedy.
they want to make LA
That is
traffic
greedy.
more congested.
And then they don't want to pay
Because they want to
the
force people to take
wages
public
and stuff.
transportation, which in
Y'all
LA
greedy and
is not
disgusting.
doable.
Yeah.
It's just not
Oh my
doable.
God. It ain't.
Okay?
Look, they tried a version of this in Manhattan, and everybody already hates it. And the View was grilling Governor Hochul about it the other day, etc.
Okay, how's my water?
But my point here
Okay,
isn't about
good.
that specific thing.
All right,
And it's
I've been
not
on
wrong
for
that-
about over
and
21
I often talk about
minutes.
this in the context of corporate
And
rule.
now
It's just like
I'm
the
going to
trash
shut
compactor
this
in
thing
the first Star
down, and
Wars.
my phone
It's
keeps,
close, the walls are closing
lagging
in on
back and
us.
forth,
And they are. Our
scattered
wages over the last
live and
50
everything. I
years
do
have
apologize
stagnated,
for that.
whereas our
But let me
productivity
turn
is
this
sky
off.
high. We've talked about
I apologize for that. The scattered live that we have this morning because of this iPhone that is overrated. Oh, everybody want an iPhone. Hot, and all that. Child, iPhone is overrated. Android any day. No. Oh, Lord. Now I done turn on the light. Here we go. There we go. Then I got sensitive. All right. That's it, Mia. I'm about to leave, so I'll talk to you later. Say good morning. All right. Say good morning. Okay. Thank you. All right. Well, that's it. I'm going in. Eat my food and take my medicine and get down to business. Got things to do today. I got errands to do with my mama. I'm taking all the time I can with my mama because life is short. Okay? Love you. Talk to you later.